through to the psychic line. My name is Mary. I'm here to help you. She slid back in the sofa and flicked the TV to mute. She liked to watch the pictures while she worked. Silence. Hello? Great. Another crank call. It didn't matter, though. Every second counts. She pulled one end of her gum out of her mouth in a long ribbon and wrapped it around her finger. I'm so unhappy. She stuck the gum to the side of her mug. Okay, my love. I'm sure I can help you. What is your question today? Hi. Mary could hear the muffled sobs. That's okay. Take your time. Keep them talking. I just want to know if I'll ever be happy. Okay, let me take a minute to connect with you, my love. Tick, tock. An unexpected image jumped into Mary's head. 2 young boys with blonde hair. I'm seeing 2 young boys. There was a sharp intake of breath. Blonde hair. Yes, my boys. That was weird. Mary wasn't psychic. She didn't believe in any of that rubbish, but it paid the rent. 2 names popped up into her head. Ben and Joseph? Yes. She closed her eyes and let the image run, like a film across her mind. She saw a young woman in sad gray eyes and the same blonde hair as the boys. Another name came to her. Carolyn? Yes, that's me. This had never happened before. Mary didn't like it. Suddenly, she didn't care about the money. She just wanted to get off the phone. I see lots of happiness for you very soon. It wasn't true. I hope I've helped you today, and thank you for calling. Wait, can I speak to you again? You can call the line anytime, night and day, and someone... No, I want to talk to you, please. I'll be here at the same time tomorrow. Bye now, she said, and slammed down the receiver as though it had burned her. She didn't log in the next day. That was the beauty of the job. Flexi time. She tried to forget what had happened. It was just a coincidence, she told herself. When she punched the code into the phone the following night, it immediately rang out. Psychic line, my name is Mary. I'm here to help you. It's me. She recognized the voice and was about to hang up. No, don't hang up. Carolyn? Yes. It scared you, hasn't it? Our connection. I understand. It scared me too. You're the first one. The first one? The first person I felt a connection with. I've called a lot of these lines. Why? I told you I'm unhappy. I want to know if I will find happiness. I suppose that's why most people call. No one has ever gotten anything right until now. You must be for real. Mary didn't know what to say. She most definitely was not for real. Was she? She closed her eyes and saw Carolyn again, and the 2 boys and a man. Michael? My husband. He's wearing a white coat. Yes, that's right. He's a doctor. I see. She watched again as the images rolled in. You look happy. I'm not. Michael's a good man. The boys are wonderful, but... Mary had let her head fall back against the sofa. She could feel it now, a deep and heavy cloud of depression. I can feel it. Mary opened her eyes and waited as Carolyn sobbed quietly on the other end of the phone. I'm sorry. It's okay. Tell me about yourself, Mary. Can you? I'm not meant to. Please, it would just help me to feel a little better. There's not much to tell. I'm 34, no kids, no family. No life, she thought. An image of Carolyn sitting in a white bed with a large window behind her that framed the beach flashed into Mary's head. You live on the beach? Yes, we're very lucky. Mary looked around at a grubby bedsit. Yes, Carolyn was lucky. Will I ever be happy, Mary? I don't know, she admitted and closed her eyes again. For a moment, she was there in the white room with the beach behind her. Not there in her mind, but actually there. She could feel the soft sheets and smell the salty air. Then it was gone. She opened her eyes. Did you feel that? Carolyn asked. I'm sorry. I have to go. Mary tried to keep the professional tone in her voice, but she had enough of this game. Oh, okay. Can we talk again? It's just you make me feel better, Mary. Can I have your direct number, maybe? She knew that it was a bad idea, but she couldn't help it. There was something about this woman, about this situation, that she was drawn to. She gave Carolyn her number and put down the phone. She stretched out on the sofa and rested her head on the flea-bitten pillow. Her head felt heavy and her body seemed to sway. Something shifted. The roar of the road outside her window was replaced by the sounds of waves crashing against the shingle. The images came quickly. She saw the beach drenched in sunshine, but it was more than that. She could feel the heat of the sun. 2 blonde-haired boys ran at her, throwing themselves into her arms. She felt their bodies wriggle against her. She ran her hands around the boys' backs, returning the embraces. A hand rested on her shoulder, and she turned to see Michael smiling at her in a way that no one had ever smiled at her before. She liked it. He was talking, but his voice was distorted, and she couldn't understand him, so she smiled back. A frown danced across his brow for a second as he looked at her. Then he leant forward and kissed her. She gasped and felt another shift. She felt herself being pulled back, up and out. She tried to stay, tried to hold on to something, but another voice filled her head. It was Carolyn calling the boys. "No, I want to stay," she heard herself say, but it was too late. Her eyes were open and she was back on her sofa. She spent the rest of the day in a half-dream. She walked around her gloomy flat. Everything seemed tinged with gray. The carpet, the walls, the sky. She stood at the window with her palms pressed against the cold glass and stared at the passing traffic, at the people in the cars going about their lives. Better lives than her. She deserved more. The phone rang. She already knew who it was. "Were you there? Here, I mean? Did it happen to you, too?" Carolyn sounded excited. "You sound happy." It's just the freedom of your life, Mary, to be able to come and go as you please, no restrictions. You're so free. Do you understand?" Mary didn't understand. Carolyn had everything, and she had nothing. Carolyn was spoiled. Mary ended the call quickly, agreeing to talk to Carolyn the following day. She felt numb. That night, she dreamt of herself as Carolyn walking along the beach with her boys. In the morning, as she lay in the bed and tried to relive the touch of the boys, she always wanted children. She wouldn't take them for granted like Carolyn did. She wandered aimlessly around the flat. For 2 days she didn't leave. She barely slept and couldn't eat as she waited for the call. When the phone finally rang, she snatched up the receiver. "Carolyn?" "Yes, it's me. You sound strange. Are you okay?" "I'm fine. Fine." She tried to steady her voice. "How are you?" Carolyn's voice took an excited tone. "I was wondering if you wanted to try it again." "What?" "You know, the swap thing." Well, she had asked for it. "Okay, then." Mary closed her eyes. Her body seemed to sway and then fall forward. Carolyn's voice passed her in the blackness, and when she opened her eyes, she was back where she had wanted to be. In Carolyn's body. In Carolyn's life. She was in a huge, white, sheeted bed in the middle of a bright white room. The window was open, and the sound of the sea washed through it. The door flew open, and the boys ran in, jumping on the bed around her. Behind them stood Michael with his tray in his hands. Breakfast in bed. That was when she decided to stay. They spent the day on the beach, another idyllic day. Later, when Michael put the children to bed, she walked around the house, familiarizing herself with it. Tomorrow she would make breakfast for them. Michael poured her a glass of wine and chatted to her about his work and plans for the summer holidays. She smiled and nodded, and he didn't seem to notice that she was quiet. As she lay in bed next to him that night, she felt the familiar sway of her body. She heard Carolyn calling out, but she held tight. She kept her eyes open and resisted the pull. Over the next few days, she often felt Carolyn's presence tugging at her, but she continued to resist. Once she woke in the night with Carolyn's voice echoing through her head. Michael soothed her back to sleep with kisses. She was strong. She wanted this life, and she would do anything to keep it. The pain started a few weeks later. She lost her appetite and noticed that her already thin body was growing thinner. She mentioned it to Michael, who told her not to worry and gave her painkillers that made her drowsy. She found it hard to wake up, impossible to get up. Something, she realized, was terribly wrong. "I think I need to go to the hospital," she whispered in a rare moment of lucidity. "No hospitals, honey," Michael cooed. "Remember, we agreed. I'll look after you here." He injected something into her arm and sleep enveloped her. When she woke again, the pain racked her body. He was there, ready with another injection. He stroked her hair and as he sat beside her. "Carolyn, my love, I've brought someone to meet you. She's going to help me take care of you." A figure moved towards her in the shadows. The woman's face was horribly familiar and yet so different. It was thinner, with polished makeup and a sharp haircut. She saw Michael slip an arm around the woman's waist and draw her towards him as he stood over her. "Hello, Carolyn," the woman purred as she recognized the voice. Her own voice. "My name is Mary, and I'm here to help you."